Um, so Indu, what about like the food? Because I know that's a big part of culture. I mean, I know you said some things might not really make the most sense in the context, but food, how about like certain TV shows or movies, like Nigerian movies? Do you share that with your son?
Yeah. Okay. For now, we do Netflix,
Okay, yes,
right?
yes, exactly.
Yes, we do Netflix, so we're able to see. Really, I'm not a TV person. I've never been a TV person. That doesn't mean that if my wife is seeing a movie with my son and I get into the sitting room, I'll just sit with them and see the movie. But I'm not that person who will like just sit down and maybe if a movie gets very popular and everybody's talking about it, I say, okay, let me go and see it.
Right.
So that aspect is also not really for me as a person and for us as a family. There are just three of us here. So,
Yes, yes. But the food, like he eats the food very well. He
but
enjoys the Nigerian.
yeah, I eat Nigerian food here. We have to cook. Even before they came, I cook Nigerian food and I eat Nigerian food. But that doesn't mean that I don't also eat the food that they have here. But the food is not very spicy, you know.
Okay.
So you may not really be able to do very well with it. Till now, my wife cannot eat rice here.
Really?
She cannot eat rice here because it's not spicy. Like, and mm, she, she says, I don't know how it tastes, but she says that it has a lot of garlic in it.
Oh, okay.
That's that's her now. For me, I remember the very first time I came here, I was just coming in and they bought me food. I couldn't eat that food. It took me about 3 days of having to refrigerate, then microwave to eat. I would just had to cook other food and try to mix it up to see how I can eat it.
Right,
But right now, I can eat it, I can have fun with it. But if I really want to eat,
right.
if I'm really hungry, I think I have to do maybe I have to pour some more spice to it. I
Yeah,
have to bring that shape.
exactly.
Have to pop a pen to it to
Exactly.
be able to enjoy it. Yeah.
Wow. And then you said something like this very powerful because like I said, I didn't think about this in that way until you said it. Like for people who maybe are in the US or any other country that there's a bigger diaspora, for them, once they get there, they're looking to find the nearest community, you know,
Yeah.
for their country. They are establishing their roots, so they're maintaining some of those cultural heritages. But in your case, being that you mentioned many people who are in Saudi Arabia are kind of like transient somehow, maybe the it's not as important maybe because they're just trying to work or do what they need to do before going to wherever the next place is. So that was a pretty powerful point.
Yes.
Do you care to say anything else about that or
Yeah. But that's just really direct because if you are coming to a place and you're planning to stay, you have a long-term plan, maybe your kids are going to continue here,
Mhm.
then you'll be thinking about having a community, trying to understand to have your roots here and all that. But many persons who are in Saudi Arabia, I can tell you that for sure, are not thinking about their kids staying here. A lot of persons live here and work here. First of all, you can't even you can't many persons will not just say I'm going to Saudi Arabia to live in Saudi Arabia. You're coming to Saudi Arabia mainly because you have a job. A job is bringing you down here. So you came here to work, not necessarily to remain here permanently. Yeah, some people get visas to come here and do business. Okay, so if you have a business, maybe you will start thinking about staying here permanently. But if you have a job, your stay is attached to the job that you have. So if you are no longer working, there is nothing else you're doing here. You want to leave. Even though personally I love the place and I would love to stay in Saudi Arabia, like I would love my kids to remain here in Saudi Arabia and just have a life here in Saudi Arabia. But it doesn't seem like something that is really I don't know what word to use, but it doesn't look like something that just comes on a platter. Like that is very easy for you to access, for you to navigate. So if you are thinking the highest I'm going to stay here is 30 years, and
That's a
That
long
is
time into 30
30
years is a
years,
long
if you
time.
stay here for very long, yeah, 30 years is
Yeah.
quite long. But really, some persons want to stay here and have a family in Nigeria, have a family
Mhm.
wherever they are. So I know persons who have been here for 25 years, 30 years, and they are still planning that they are still building their family back home, knowing that they are going back home.
Right.
So at that point, I don't think you want to be thinking about having an an association of your what do you really want to achieve by maybe you can have that and just share values, encourage each other while you work here, and just to make yourself feel at home
Hmm.
while you work. But I don't think that is what anybody who knows that their stay in Saudi Arabia is transient wants to do.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe
No.
if we're planning to stay here permanently.
Right. Right. That makes sense. That makes sense.